Alright, so we're making Scotch pie. Try number 2. The first attempt apparently wasn't quite authentic. Well, we knew that. I deviated from the recipe, but even the original recipe wasn't quite right. So I used ground sirloin. I got a new recipe from a reader, and this recipe calls for ground lamb. I want to tell you that I didn't think I was going to be able to find ground lamb at Ralph's, but I did find it. What I had trouble finding there was the lard. So I ended up having to go to a Mexican store to get the lard. But again, I wanted this to be as authentic as it possibly could. Alright, so I'm using a packaged gravy because, to be honest, I really don't know how to make gravy outside of a package. Maybe someone has a recipe for that. So we've got lamb. I'm going to make the meat filling. Lamb, nutmeg, salt and pepper, and a 1/4 pint of gravy, which I am making right now. And when that's done, then we will make scratch pastry, and I'll come back and describe that as we do that. Okay, for the next step, it's 4 cups of flour, 3/4 cup of lard, 6 ounces of water, a little bit of salt, and milk for glazing. Okay, this is a bit of a surprise. The lard is not packaged in cubes, it's one big chunk. So instead of 3/4 cup, I am going to weigh out 6 ounces. Okay, so this is what 6 ounces of lard looks like. I weighed it out. We have some flour and some salt. The bowl is supposed to be warm. It's not. I have to heat up the lard with a scant amount of water, whatever that is, until the lard bubbles. And then I'm going to add it to the pastry. My hand's going to get messy, so you might have to see the after. And then while I'm doing each one, I'm supposed to put it on a cup and a glass, and it's supposed to be warm when it goes on, and as it cools, I suppose it will get. Okay, there it is, the lard melting in a scant amount of water. Okay, I originally set the oven to 200, but I thought I better set it down. Interesting fact, my oven won't go less than 170, so it's at 170 and it's keeping the flour warm. Meanwhile, we have here, the lard is bubbling, and I'll be pretty soon adding it to the flour, but it's not smelling so good. Okay, there's my pastry. Some will probably say it needs more water. I think I probably will end up adding a little more water, but now I'm going to probably do that, then put it back in the oven with just taking out little bits and rolling the pies one by one. I have to say, there's something quite endearing about using the bottom of a glass for your pies, and I made 7. It said it makes 8 to 10, but as you can see, my pastry is not finely rolled, so it'll be a little thick. I'm okay with that. And then the rest of it I'm going to try to gather together, and hopefully it'll have enough fat in it to hold together for the tops. Okay, so the reality is my pastry's falling apart. Fine. I put the meat in, I distributed it amongst the 7 pies. Fine. I have to pour some gravy in, and I'm afraid it'll come out through the holes in the pastry because my pastry's not supposed to have any holes. Fine. So I made some holes, some wells in the meat, so I'll try to pour it into there and hope for the best. Then I'll cap it up and we'll bake it. There it is. Doesn't look that great, but I think it'll be good. We'll see. Okay, I don't think this is quite how it's supposed to look, but you know, if it tastes good, it's okay.